This story begins with blood, betrayal, and the kind of tragedy that reshapes a family forever. Felix grows up as the useless son, born with a damaged dantian and constantly looked down on by his own father. Felix grows up as the useless son, born with a damaged dantian and constantly looked down on by his own father. But the truth behind that harsh treatment is heartbreaking. His father never hated him. He acted cold to keep Felix far away from danger, a danger that arrives sooner than anyone expects. One day, the Sterling family storms their home. They drag Felix's mother, Isabella, torment the family, and finally kill her in front of her husband and children. The house collapses into chaos. Sebastian dies, the father breaks, and the entire Bennett family is left in ruins. But Felix makes a vow. He will avenge his mother with his own hands. What nobody knows is that an old swordsman has been watching him from the shadows. A legendary master who recognizes Felix's potential and reveals a secret that changes his fate. Felix is not a waste. He can train, and he will become stronger than anyone ever imagined. He trains in secret, learns forbidden techniques, and eventually leaves home. On the way, he saves a girl named Aurora, and the two of them unknowingly pull each other deeper into a storm that has been building for decades. Meanwhile, the Sterling family strikes again. They attack Aurora's home, kill her family members, and come to completely wipe out the Bennetts. Bloodshadow, one of the strongest assassins in the land, kills without mercy. Felix's father collapses and uses his final strength to beg Felix's teacher to save the boy. But then Felix steps forward. The quiet, underestimated son arrives like a storm, and in front of everyone, the truth is revealed. Felix is the successor of the sword god. When he calls his master's blade, the legendary Swan sword flies straight into his hand. The battlefield falls silent. Enemies who mocked him seconds ago are suddenly trembling. Felix defeats Bloodshadow in moments, forcing Edward and his men to beg for mercy. But Edward still tries to use Aurora as a shield, proving how cowardly he truly is. Felix cuts him down without hesitation. Just when everyone thinks it's over, the real villain appears. A man who slaughtered Felix's master's family 30 years ago and has been hunting the Swan sword ever since. Felix and his master fight side by side, but the enemy is powerful. In the end, the master sacrifices himself, passing the legacy to Felix completely. Felix then unleashes the true power of the sword god and finally destroys the enemy who caused decades of suffering. The war ends. The families are safe, and the boy who once hid from the world is now the strongest man alive. The final scene brings us a moment of peace. After all the bloodshed, Felix is forced by his grandfather to go on a blind date where he unexpectedly meets a girl connected to his master's past. For the first time, his life isn't about revenge, it's about starting over. Felix avenged his mother, protected his clan, and fulfilled his master's wish. A boy who was once insulted as useless becomes the sword god who shakes the entire world. Fair use disclaimer, end of script. This commentary is created for analysis, critique, and educational insight. All footage used falls under fair use. Viewers are encouraged to watch the full film to support the creators.